Hey travelers, have you ever booked a cheap flight only to realize later that hidden airline fees turned your bargain into a budget disaster? You're not alone. Airlines are getting craftier than ever in 2025, sneaking in extra charges for things that used to be free, and if you're not careful, you could end up paying hundreds more than expected. Whether you're a first-time flyer, a digital nomad, or a young traveler exploring the world on a budget, these airline tricks can drain your wallet fast. But don't worry. I've spent years breaking down airline pricing hacks, and today I'll share insider tips to help you travel smarter and avoid paying a single dollar more than necessary. From disappearing free carry-ons to sneaky seat selection scams, here are 10 airline fees in 2025 that could cost you big if you're not prepared. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the best travel hacks, flight tips, and budget-friendly adventures. Alright, let's get started. 1. Say goodbye to free carry-ons. Airlines are charging more than ever. If you've been flying for years, you probably remember when a carry-on bag was included in every ticket price. Well, those days are disappearing fast. In 2025, airlines are tightening restrictions and turning carry-ons into a luxury, not a right. Air Canada has already removed free carry-ons for basic economy passengers, meaning travelers will only be allowed one small personal item, a purse, laptop bag, or small backpack that fits under the seat. No rolling suitcases, no larger backpacks, no overhead storage, unless you pay extra. And they're not alone. Major U.S. airlines like United, American, and Delta are expected to follow this trend, charging anywhere from $25 to $50 just to bring a carry-on bag on board. This is especially frustrating for budget-conscious travelers, students, and young professionals who rely on budget airlines to get around. What seems like an affordable ticket suddenly isn't so cheap anymore when you factor in baggage fees. So how do you avoid this extra charge? When booking flights, use Google Flights or Skyscanner to filter for fares that already include a carry-on bag. If the airline charges extra, do the math. Sometimes upgrading to a higher fare class is cheaper in the long run if it includes luggage. And here's a pro tip. Airline rules are stricter on suitcases than backpacks. If your ticket includes a personal item, consider a travel backpack instead of a rolling carry-on. It's less likely to be flagged, and you can pack more than you think. 2. The airport bag size and trap, how a half-inch could cost you $100. You might think your carry-on meets airline size requirements, but here's the catch. Airlines are making the rules even stricter at the gate. If your bag is even half an inch too big, you could be forced to pay up to $100 on the spot. What most travelers don't realize is that some airlines actually incentivize gate agents to flag oversized bags. Airlines like Frontier and Spirit have taken this to another level, offering bonuses to agents who find luggage that doesn't fit in the sizing bins. And here's the real trick. The bag sizes at the gate are often smaller than the airline's official measurements. That means your carry-on, which was fine at check-in, suddenly doesn't fit right before you board. For young professionals, budget travelers, and college students trying to avoid baggage fees, this can be a major frustration. You think you're bidding a great deal on a cheap flight, but suddenly you're forced to pay $75 to $100 extra at the last minute just to bring your bag on board. So how can you outsmart this trick? Always check your bag's dimensions at home with a tape measure. Don't rely on the airline's website alone. And here's an insider hack. Use a soft backpack instead of a rigid suitcase. Backpacks can squish into smaller spaces, making them less likely to be flagged by gate agents. If you've ever been caught by the sneaky fee, let us know in the comments, and stick around, because the next V on our list might just make you rethink when you pay for your checked luggage. 3. The rising cost of checked luggage, how AI pricing is draining your wallet. If you've ever wondered why baggage fees seem to keep getting higher, the answer is simple. Airlines are using artificial intelligence to charge you more based on demand, timing, and even your booking history. This AI-driven dynamic pricing means that two passengers on the same flight could pay completely different fees for checking the exact same bag. Here's how it works. The later you pay for your baggage, the more expensive it gets. Budget airlines like Frontier now charge anywhere from $50 to $99 per checked bag, depending on when you add it to your reservation. And it's not just budget airlines. American Airlines and other major carriers hike up baggage fees during peak travel seasons, like summer, spring break, and the holidays, when they know most people need to check a suitcase. For travelers who like to book last-minute deals, digital nomads, or students flying home for the holidays, this random pricing model can be a nasty surprise. You might assume your baggage fee will stay the same, only to find out at check-in that it has doubled overnight. So how do you avoid this unfair system? Always pay for checked baggage at the time of booking. This locks in the lowest rate and prevents last-minute price hikes. If you know you'll need to check a bag, don't wait until check-in or the airport, where prices are often at their highest. And here's another tip. Check if your credit card offers free checked bags. Many airline credit cards waive baggage fees, which could save you hundreds of dollars per year if you fly often. Have you ever been shocked by a baggage fee that changed unexpectedly? Let us know in the comments. And stay tuned, because next, we're talking about a basic economy trick that airlines use to lock you into a flight with zero flexibility. No refunds, no changes, and hidden fees just to pick a seat. So, the basic economy trap: why cheap tickets could cost you more. You see a flight for an unbelievably low price and think you've just scored a great deal. But if it's a basic economy fare, that cheap ticket might end up costing you more in the long run. Airlines market basic economy as their lowest cost option, but what they don't tell you is that it comes with severe restrictions. Once you book, you're locked in. There are no refunds, no changes, and no flexibility, even in emergencies. Need to change your travel date? That's not allowed. Want to pick your seat to avoid getting stuck in the middle? You'll have to pay extra for that. In some cases, it's actually cheaper to cancel your ticket and book a new one than to modify a basic economy fare. This is especially frustrating for travelers who need flexibility, like digital nomads, students flying home, or families who might need to adjust plans. Airlines bet on the fact that many passengers will have to cancel or change their flights, allowing them to pocket your money while reselling the seat to someone else. So how do you avoid getting trapped by this ticket type? If there's any chance your plans might change, do not book basic economy. Instead, consider main cabin or premium economy, which might cost slightly more upfront, but allow date changes and seat selection without crazy fees. And here's a pro tip. Some airline credit cards offer free upgrades to main cabin or discounts on seat selection fees, so check your perks before booking. Have you ever booked a basic economy ticket and regretted it? Share your experience in the comments. And keep watching, because up next we'll reveal how airlines are making it harder and more expensive just to sit next to your travel companions. 5. The pay-to-sit-together scam. Why airlines are splitting you up on purpose. If you're traveling with family, friends, or even your partner, you'd expect to be seated together, right? Well, not anymore. Airlines have found yet another way to squeeze extra money out of passengers by deliberately separating travelers who don't pay for seat selection. It's no accident that when you skip paying for a seat, you often get assigned a middle seat in different rows, even when there are empty seats next to your travel companions. This is a deliberate strategy to push passengers into paying extra just to sit next to someone they booked their flight with. And it's getting worse. Budget airlines like Ryanair, Spirit, and Frontier are among the biggest offenders, often charging $20 to $50 per seat selection, even for short flights. But here's where it gets really bad. Even parents traveling with small children are being separated unless they pay extra. That means a parent could be sitting rows away from their toddler unless they cough up the fee. For solo travelers, this isn't a big deal, but for families, couples, and groups of friends, this can be an unexpected and frustrating expense. And if you're on a long-haul flight, good luck trying to swap seats with a stranger who paid for theirs. So how do you avoid this unfair charge? Check in online exactly 24 hours before your flight. This is when airlines start auto-assigning seats, and you'll have a better chance of getting seats together before the system locks you into a middle seat. Another tip? If you're traveling with a companion, book your seats under the same reservation. Airlines are less likely to split up travelers on the same booking than those who book separately. Had you ever been forced to pay extra just to sit next to someone you were traveling with? Let us know in the comments. And stick around, because up next, we're exposing a sneaky airline trick that makes paying for your flight with the wrong card cost you even more. 6. The sneaky credit card fee. How airlines charge you more based on how you pay. You found the perfect flight, entered your details, and are ready to book. But wait, did you know that airlines might be charging you extra just for using the wrong payment method? This sneaky fee has been growing in Europe, where airlines like Ryanair and Wizz Air have started adding processing fees if you pay with a credit card instead of a debit card. In some cases, this can add 5% or more to your total ticket price. And it's not just European airlines. In the US, some airlines now charge hidden surcharges if you book through third-party travel sites instead of purchasing directly from their website. That means if you buy your ticket on a platform like Expedia or Kayak, you could unknowingly be paying more than if you had booked the exact same flight directly with the airline. This is especially frustrating for travelers who rely on rewards points or cashback bonuses from their credit cards. Instead of saving money, you might actually be paying extra just for using the payment method you prefer. So, how do you avoid this hidden charge? Always check the final price before clicking pay. If you see a processing fee, try switching between credit card and debit card to see if the price changes. If you're booking through a third-party site, compare the price on the airline's official website. You might get the same flight without the added fee. And here's bonus tip. If you frequently book flights, consider getting a travel credit card with no foreign transaction fees and airline perks, which can help you offset these extra charges. Have you ever noticed a weird extra fee when booking your flight? Drop a comment below. And stick around, because up next, we're talking about a baggage trick that could cost you hundreds of dollars if you're not careful. 7 hidden fees for overweight luggage. Even 1 extra pound can cost you. You're all packed, ready for your trip and feeling good about squeezing everything into your checked bag. Until you get to the airport. That extra pair of shoes or souvenir jacket? It might just cost you $200. Airlines are stricter than ever when it comes to luggage weight limits, and in 2025, they're cracking down hard. If your suitcase is even 1 pound over the limit, expect to pay steep overweight fees. Depending on the airline, that 1 extra pound could cost you anywhere from $50 to $200, and in some cases, even more for international flights. Luxury airlines like Emirates and Qatar Airways are now charging by the kilogram, meaning even a small miscalculation could lead to a huge surprise fee at check-in. And once you're at the airport, you have no choice. You either pay up or start unpacking at the check-in counter. This is especially frustrating for travelers going on long-haul trips, digital nomads carrying work equipment, or families packing extra essentials. Airlines know you don't have many options once you're at the airport, and they take full advantage of it. So how do you avoid this expensive mistake? Weigh your suitcase at home before leaving for the airport. A simple luggage scale costs less than $10 and can save you hundreds. And here's a pro tip. Wear your heaviest items on the plane instead of packing them. Coats, boots, and even heavier electronics like camera or laptops should go in your personal item to keep your checked luggage under the limit. Have you ever had to scramble at the airport to avoid an overweight fee? Let us know in the comments. And stick around, because next we're talking about a new airline rule that could force you to check your carry-on, even if it fits the size requirements. 8. The rise of cabin bag checks. How airlines are forcing you to pay for carry-ons. You've carefully packed your carry-on, double-checked that it meets airline size requirements, and arrived at the gate feeling confident. But just as you're about to board, an airline agent stops you and says, "Sorry, the overhead bins are full. We have to check your bag." This forced gate checking trick is becoming more common in 2025. And here's why. Airlines have figured out a new way to charge you for baggage without you even realizing it when you book. Even if your carry-on technically fits the size requirements, you may be forced to check it anyway if the flight is overbooked and the airline claims the overhead bins are full. You're in one of the last boarding groups, meaning all the space has already been taken. The airline deliberately restricts bin space on certain aircraft to encourage checked bag fees. And here's the worst part. Some budget airlines charge you a fee at the gate when they take your bag, turning what should have been a free carry-on into a surprise baggage expense. For budget travelers, backpackers, and digital nomads who rely on carry-on-only travel, this can be a major headache. You plan to avoid checking a bag, but now you're stuck waiting at baggage claim. Or worse, paying an unexpected fee just to get your bag back. So how do you avoid this last-minute charge? Board early if possible. The earlier you board, the more likely you are to find overhead bin space. Use a soft backpack instead of a rolling suitcase. Backpacks are easier to squeeze under the seat, making them less likely to get flagged for day checking. Consider priority boarding if you have a carry-on. Some airlines let you board earlier for a small fee, which might be worth it if it prevents a forced bag check. Have you ever been forced to check your carry-on even when it fit the rules? Drop a comment below. And don't go anywhere. Next, we're exposing how airlines are now charging extra just to let you board the plane earlier than others. 9. Priority boarding fees. The new Fast Pass airlines want you to pay for. Airlines have found yet another way to charge passengers for something that used to be free. boarding the plane. If you don't pay extra, you're likely to end up in the last boarding group, which means overhead bin space will be gone, forcing you to check your carry-on at the gate. You'll be stuck waiting in long lines while others who paid extra get on first. You may not even get to sit with your travel companions, since seats fill up faster. Budget airlines like Frontier, Spirit, and Ryanair have led the way, now charging anywhere from $10 to $40 just to let you board earlier. But now, even premium airlines like United and American Airlines are pushing priority boarding upgrades, making regular passengers wait longer unless they pay to move up the line. For frequent flyers, digital nomads, and travelers who rely on carry-on-only travel, this boarding delay can be a real problem. If you board last, you may be forced to check your bag. And if you're in a rush, waiting at baggage claim is the last thing you want to do. So how do you avoid paying for priority boarding? Hold elite status. Frequent travelers who fly often with one airline can earn early boarding perks for free. Use an airline credit card. Many cards automatically upgrade your boarding groove even on budget fares. Book a mid-tier fare instead of basic economy. Sometimes paying a little more for your ticket includes early boarding, which could be cheaper than paying for priority separately. Have you ever been stuck in the last boarding group and had to check your bag because of it? Let us know in the comments. And stick around, because next, we're exposing a sneaky airline trick that makes you pay extra just for bringing sports gear or baby strollers. 10 hidden fees for sports gear and strollers. Why airlines are charging more for your essentials. If you're a parent, an athlete, or a musician, get ready. Airlines are now charging extra for gear that used to fly free. Whether it's a baby stroller, ski equipment, or a guitar, you could be hit with unexpected fees at check-in. Many airlines have quietly changed their policies on specialty items, reclassifying them as bulky luggage instead of standard check baggage. JetBlue and Delta have tightened stroller regulations, now charging fees for larger, non-collapsible models. If you're traveling with a surfboard, golf clubs, or skis, some airlines no longer allow them as part of your regular check bag allowance. Instead, they add special handling fees that can range from $30 to $150 per item. For families traveling with kids, sports enthusiasts heading to competitions, or musicians flying with their instruments, this can be a huge and unexpected expense. Some airlines even refuse to let musical instruments in the cabin, forcing musicians to check them, risking damage. So how do you avoid these surprise fees? Check airline policies before booking. Each airline has different rules, and some still allow free stroller check-in, but only for specific models. Use collapsible or travel-friendly gear. A foldable stroller or a compact sports bag is less likely to get flagged as oversized. Call the airline in advance if you're flying with a musical instrument. Some allow small instruments as a carry-on rather than check baggage. Airlines are getting more creative in finding ways to charge extra fees, but now that you know the tricks, you can fly smarter and save money. Final thoughts. How to avoid these airline fees and travel smarter. Airlines may be making it harder and more expensive to travel, but the good news is, now you know exactly what to look out for. From hidden carry-on fees to last-minute baggage charges, these airline tricks are designed to boost their profits while catching you off guard. But smart travelers don't fall for these traps. By booking wisely, checking policies ahead of time, and using insider tricks like priority boarding and flexible packing, you can avoid these extra costs and keep more money in your pocket. If you've ever been hit with a surprise airline fee, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story, and if you found these tips helpful, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more insider travel hacks. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Safe travels!